Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, presents the Raw Ring Report. Coming up, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee of the LWO take on American Made of the Creed Brothers in a tornado tag team matchup. We'll see that match coming up later on. Coming up on the champion clashes with Ludwig Kaiser, world champion Gunther's protege. Can he impress Gunther by defeating the Intercontinental champion? We'll see. Immediately, almost 10 years to the day, the new day, on the 10-year anniversary, takes on American. And speaking of Survivor Series implications, Bianca Belair, one half of the women's tag team champion, takes on Nia Jax, one half of the women's WWE champion, battles to see who will have the advantage at WarGames in that Survivor Series women's WarGames match. We'll get that as well as a host of more Survivor Series matches announcements. And why Dominic Mysterio topped the list of the top 30 among 30 wrestlers on Sports Illustrated. We'll talk about it coming up. All right, we get the Pro Wrestling Show started right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kitty Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Man, oh man. Pro Wrestling Show is here. And we're here in about for you right here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like we said, this is going to be the edition of Pro Wrestling Show. All right. We ain't gonna we're gonna get things started. You know, the Pro Wrestling champion Gunther in the ring. Gunther in the ring right now, ready for his match that's coming up here for Gunther. The ring general, the world champion in the ring. Gunther walking down to the aisle. Gunther set to defend the world championship at Survivor Series against Damian Priest in that rematch. Damian and Gunther since SummerSlam in August. Well, Damian gets his rematch against Gunther at Survivor Series. Can Damian win back the championship that he once had? We'll see. There's going to be a tough task for Damian Priest. I'll tell you that right now. Well, we kicked things off with that as Gunther was confronting Damian in the ring, saying the same old, until Damian decided to take matters in his own hand and decided to lay out the world champion, getting themselves ready for their Survivor Series match coming up. It's kind of like it wasn't properly built in and stuff to me. But like we said, we're getting things started with that. Hopefully we'll see coming up as well for Damian Gunther. We know at Survivor Series, don't forget to watch the predicted outcome for Survivor Series this Saturday. And we can tell you who I believe is going to leave out Survivor Series as world champion between Damian and Gunther. But Gunther took that nasty bump tonight. So, hey, we saw that. Well, we get to one of the matches right here. Ludwig Kaiser takes on Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser set to battle tonight, and what a battle it was tonight. Ludwig Kaiser trying to set up the odds tonight. Ludwig Kaiser tried to take down Gunther after Sheamus came out of nowhere, and Sheamus getting his retribution. And Sheamus wants that retribution so bad, he attacked both Ludwig Kaiser and both Braun Breaker. And it led to a fight between all three men right here. That security and everybody else had to get involved and stop this madness and pull these men apart from each other. You can tell Sheamus want to get his hands on both men, as both men want to get their hands on each other. Well, Adam Pearce made it official, and he made it official, all right, for Survivor Series. And that Survivor Series, we will see these three men tell the holy you know what out of each other. It's going to happen at Survivor Series. Sheamus Braun Breaker, and Ludwig Kaiser. All three men will compete for the Intercontinental Championship. It's gonna happen at Survivor Series. I think that was fellow friend Solomon was saying at Survivor Series that's gonna happen. So these three men gonna really beat the holy hell out of each other at Survivor Series in that triple threat match. Which one of these men gonna leave Survivor Series with the goal at Survivor Series, the Intercontinental goal? Well, speaking of Intercontinental goal, it was finally announced tonight on Raw. The Women's Intercontinental Championship will debut, and there will be a tournament to crown, like its counterpart, the Women's U.S. Championship on SmackDown. We will have that deciding factor on Saturday night's main event. But all we know right now that Adam Pearce introduced the championship tonight, the Women's Intercontinental Championship, declared as the Workers Championship, declared so, and now the championship will be exclusive to Raw. And the Women's Intercontinental Champion, we will have to wait and see who will be that woman who I believe who's the favorite. I probably Natalia might be the favorite to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship since she got lineage. Looking real closely at it, um, the Intercontinental Championship. All right, I see women's. I think yeah, Okay, they got women's on there. The Women's Intercontinental Championship being introduced as a championship for the people, for the women's and stuff, for the people to see. Well, speaking of that, the LWO take on American Alpha, American May, I meant to say. There's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee teamed up against the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers looking for some retribution revenge tonight. They didn't do so tonight after Ray and his team lost. The Creed brothers with the tutelage of Chad Gable winning some matches and winning some wins. Maybe Chad Gable might be on a winning streak, on a winning roll. And Chad Gable helped lead his team on to victory. And that victory did lead on for them tonight. So hopefully we'll see how this is going to go down eventually between these two teams. But there was even more tag team action as well tonight. Even more tag team action. As we saw the New Day taking on American Alpha. The New Day took on American Alpha. The New Day setting up and gearing up for their 10-year anniversary. I can't believe it's been nearly 10 years since the New Day debuted on WWE television. The New Day was that staple for so many years, 10 years ago. That, and what they did and stuff, and how they did it. Was the New Day celebrating 10 years. And we know next Monday on Raw will be the 10-year anniversary of the New Day, and we don't know how they will celebrate next week. Well, they will celebrate indeed. But the New Day lost to American Alpha. I don't know what's going on with that, but Otis and Sour winning. But there was even more problems right here. Before they was on happier terms before, and then now they're on even madder terms. They're disagreeing, arguing like they're a married couple. But the New Day start taking shots at each other, taking pot shots at each other, saying if it was for Kofi and all them, Kofi wouldn't be nothing without Xavier. Xavier wouldn't be out with Kofi. I don't see what Big E had and when Big E's gonna help try to resurrect and try to mend fences and break this solution because New Day arguing and then they're not on the same page and they need to be on the right page and talking about they're just taking shabs at each other, even Brock Lesnar. And then New Day's gonna have to finally figure out what they have to do, but hopefully they can get it together next week. Hopefully, we'll see. The New Day will be not at each odds like right now and happier terms right here. So we'll see what's going down with the New Day next week. Well, we know that Jay Uso sent a message to Jacob Fatu. We know that Jay will take on Jacob at SmackDown this week in the men's version of the WarGames Advantage. Jay said he's gonna bring his all and bring his game face, and who can blame Jay? Jay wants to do so, Knowing Jay's gonna do so and stuff. Hopefully, Jay Uso can win for Roman's team to get them the advantage. We know that the numbers game is that for the advantage match. Who's gonna have the numbers game? That's what it's all about. So we'll see. But Jay was surrounded by his brother Jimmy and his friend Sami Zayn, all talking about this War Games Advantage match and how this War Games Advantage match is so important in these crucial Survivor Series matches. As well as this, the Judgment Day went on to defend the tag team championships against um the War Raiders. The War Raiders looking like they was confident enough to win, but they didn't bring their A game tonight, and the War Raiders might have to bring it next time. And hopefully we'll see how this is going to go down the road. But the War Raiders did not win tonight. The War Raiders fell down to the Judgment Day. And we'll talk about a little bit later with Dominic Mysterio um doing a little bit later and how that's going to go down next week. We'll talk about that on Wrestling Hot Topics coming up. Well, we talk about this. Bianca Belair still trying to find the answers of who attacked her friend Jay Carhill this Friday on SmackDown when Jay was ambushed and smashed onto a car and left laying. Jay Carhill, we haven't heard what's went down with her. Jay, hopefully she's all right and she's okay. Jay took a nasty landing and stuff. I mean, we want to show you this, but we want to advise you that what Jay took this past Friday on SmackDown was real nasty. Let's show you the pictures right here. Before we get to right here, Jay took that nasty bump right here that left her out laying. Ooh, that's like somebody getting attacked from behind. So hopefully Jay is okay, but that was real nasty. But Bianca Belair arguing with Naomi, and Naomi saying that hey, we need to put Bayley in the group. Bianca's not a fan of Bayley after Bayley tried to take her down for her championships over the years. Bianca knows that Bayley is no good and feels that Bayley was no good. But we saw that Rhea Ripley coming back. Rhea Ripley wants to get her hands on any and everybody. She wants to get her hands on Liv Morgan. Rhea Ripley wants to do so and stuff. We'll see how it's gonna go. So we will see later on tonight that Bianca will compete tonight against women's champion Nia Jax in the advantage match we talked about for the female side. Can Bianca win for her team? We'll see. We'll see how that's gonna go down. All right. But we get to I guess we can get to the matches and stuff. Well, Bianca Belair went against Nia Jax, and Nia Jax tried to take down Bianca. Nia was unable to defeat Bianca. Bianca won with the help of Bayley. Bayley coming out of nowhere. Bianca a little bit like suspect with Bayley saying, what is all this about? You want to join the group or what? I think that's what Bianca is trying to get right there with Bayley. And hey, Bayley wants to be a part of the team. We have to wait and see on SmackDown this Friday and see how that's going to go down and how that's going to be coming up. So hey, looking forward to seeing that. But Bayley helping aid and Bianca Belair in her match tonight against Nia Jax to get the advantage for Survivor Series. All right. That ends the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we talk about this. Dominic Mysterio tops the list of the ESPN's list of 30 under 30 on the list of 30 of the current wrestlers right now. This is the list right here, right now. People that's under 30. Dominic Mysterio, MJF, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Mariah May, Taker, Kakusha Taker, Jack Perry, Kyle Fletcher, Dan Garcia, Braun Breaker, Chris Stanlander. Is anybody else on that list? Austin Theory. Theory fell flat on the number 15 list after you would have thought he would have been a potential candidate. And it's going to be 2024. Some of these folks gonna turn 30 anyway. Who's under 30? Who's gonna be turning 30 this year? Just about all of them are born in 96 to 2000. I think 96 to 90 99 at least. So I guess I mean a couple from AEW, MJF, Tony Storm, Mariah May, talking shit. Jack Perry, Kyle Fletcher, Dan Garcia, Braun Breaker, Rhea Ripley, and Dominic. All Braun Breaker ain't third yet. Damn. Well, the Intercontinental Champion ain't third yet, but I mean he'll be 30 soon. But Braun Breaker could be the star tomorrow, but we'll see. But Dominic Mysterio had to top that list because he gets more heat than anybody else on there. So Dominic Mysterio on the list and stuff. So good for Dominic for his athletic ability and getting heat. Well, we talk about this coming up. This been announced that we thought Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens were going to fight at Survivor Series, a Saturday night main event. Well, the match has been set for Saturday, December 14th on NBC. Cody Rhodes set to defend the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens at Saturday night's main event. So we'll see that match on Saturday night main event coming up. Oh, you set to defend the WWE title at on Saturday night's main event. Been a long time since the WWE title been on Saturday night main event. Well, speaking of that, we'll have AEW reveal the Continental Classic participants. We'll have a little bit more update and a little bit more insight this Wednesday on the Dynamite Ring Report. So look for that. Well, a lot of the names right here that you saw right here that's going to be part of that Continental Classic and stuff. So we'll get to see that coming up as well. Also tonight too, we heard tonight the United States Championship. LA Knight set to defend the championship against Shinsuke Nakamura at Survivor Series. This match just came out of nowhere, so we're gonna see that match coming up as well. Don't forget, this Saturday we'll have predict the outcome for Survivor Series, match previews and predictions for all the match cards of Survivor Series, as well as the after show, the Survivor Series review. We'll have a live edition. We're gonna cover what happened to Survivor Series. Did anything went down and stuff? We'll cover it coming up for Survivor Series. So it's gonna be a Survivor Series weekend here on the Pro Wrestling Show, like we did the Full Gear weekend, and we did the Crown Jewel weekend as well. So it's been a busy November coming up for the Pro Wrestling Show. Well, we've been telling you about Jade Cargill being dropped out in the Survivor Series match. They're saying Jade having problems with her neck. Jade having a lot of problems after that devastating act that whoever did that to her did and stuff, laid her out. So Jade Cargill being laid out tonight. And hopefully with Jade, we get more information coming up this Friday on SmackDown or our predicted outcome specials for Survivor Series as well. So we will wait and see how this is going to go down. We're going to leave you with Bayley aiding in helping Bianca Belair at the Bianca Belair basically didn't need it, but Bianca won against Nia Jax into a Survivor Series advantage match. So we'll see. Thanks for watching the Pro Wrestling Show. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon, so long, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the NXT Ring Report here on Pro Wrestling.